Growing Big with Steve Bartylla.
If you've been paying attention to Growing Big, by now you've picked up on the fact that what I try to do is I try to stack odds. Stack as many little things in my favor as possible. And you know what? Good things happen. No, leaving an opening right where I want the deer to come out in the edge feathering is not guaranteeing he's going to come out there. Planting that scrape tree in front of the stand is not guaranteeing that he's going to, if he comes out on the other side, that he's going to come all the way over and work that scrape. Having a water source 15 yards away from my stand, just simply bearing a bucket or bringing in a dozer in areas where EHD and blue tongue aren't a concern, bringing in a dozer and creating a mud puddle. Now, no, that's not going to guarantee that every deer comes over to this location. Having a smorgasbord of food types at that food source is not guaranteeing that Mr. Big isn't going to feed other places, but the more of these things you add together, the higher the odds are that it's actually going to work for you, that it's going to work the way you want it. One of the things that we focus on in managing properties is wasting bucks' time on our ground. We want to get them to spend a disproportionate amount of time on our property. You do that by offering the best food, water, comfort, feeling of safety, and breeding opportunities that they can get. You provide those things, and even on 40 acres, a deer is going to spend a disproportionate amount of time on that 40 acres. It doesn't mean he's not going to leave. Heavens no, he's going to leave. But it is amazing how much of a difference 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes can make in the life or death of a deer. The more time we can get them to spend on our property, the higher the odds are we're going to have a shot opportunity, and the lower the odds are that the neighbors are going to kill that buck that we want to give another year. And you know what? They have every right in the world to try to kill that buck. And if they do, they deserve nothing but congratulations for it. But that doesn't mean that we can't do what we can on our ground to waste time. One of the most effective ways of wasting a buck's time during the rut is to litter that property with scrapes. I mean, litter it. Every food source you have, there should be a minimum of 5 different locations where they tend to scrape. If you do not have that naturally, manufacture them. Go ahead and cut that scrape tree. That tree that when planted 2.5 feet in the ground is going to have a licking branch right at nose level pointed back to that stand. Okay, tap it in good. If you have a little extra money, pick up a scent dripper. Fill it up with active scrape or golden scrape, because that is going to help you, but you don't have to do that. It helps, sure, but not having it will still work as well. Along those food sources, go ahead and bend those branches down. Make it so that they have locations to scrape. Along those travel corridors between bedding and feeding, put a bunch of scrapes, a bunch of artificial licking branches down at nose level so the bucks are scraping as they go to and from that food source, wasting their time on your property. And please never forget, when a branch isn't there and available, cut one, and because it's our ground, we can get away with nailing it to the tree. And it really is that effective. All you have to do is put that branch right at that buck's nose at the right time of year, and he is not going to pass it without at least sniffing it. 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, somewhere in that range, he's going to paw the earth. He's going to go ahead and work that licking branch with his head, and he's going to urinate in it, and it's going to take him 30 to 120 seconds to do that. And that 30 and 120 seconds, that range in there just might be the difference between you killing him and somebody else.
Growing Big is brought to you by Wildlife Research Center, the gold standard. Reconics, see what you've been missing. Antler King, bigger bucks, healthier deer. The Heater Bodysuit, you stay warm or your money back. Furminator, the best food plot implement on earth. Bush Hog, performance you can count on. Redneck Blinds, the best hunting blinds on the planet. Chestnut Hill Nursery and Orchards. And foodplotsfordeer.com, planning your habitat improvements and improving your hunting.
What we're doing over and over and over on this show is talking about stacking odds. The more we can stack odds in our favor, those little things they add together to become a big difference makers. One of the biggest difference makers of those little things are mock scrapes. Having bucks waste as much time on our property as we can with going ahead and working scrapes does nothing but help increase our odds of killing the buck we want and increasing our odds of getting that buck we want to get another year on to next year. Try them. They don't have to cost you a cent. Sure, you can go out and you can buy the Magnum scrape drippers and the golden scrape and all that stuff, and it does help, but it is not absolutely critical. If you cannot afford it, just go out there and attach licking branches, and don't mean to get a little bit too graphic here, but urinate yourself in the scrape. Over the next 24 hours, that urine's going to break down. It's going to smell like ammonia, just like the buck's does. It's not as good. It is not as good as golden scrape from a scent dripper, but it is good enough if you don't have another option.